Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by Greg's Beer Reviews today. It's about that time. Let's go take that walk and see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Greg's Beer Reviews today. Look at this big bottle. This is Yazoo from Yazoo Brewing Company. They're down out of Nashville, Tennessee. I reviewed this beer about 3 years ago, guys. Matter of fact, Jason sent that one to me, and he has sent me this one. So Jason, thanks again, my friend, my brother, for sending me this beer again to re-review. I thought the first time I had this beer, I thought it was freaking awesome, guys. I gave it a 10. That bottle actually had a date on it. This one does not. It's got a white label here. It's got bottled on date, and it is absolutely nothing there. So I don't know why it does not have it on this one. I know they're capable of dating it because the one I did 3 years ago had a date on it. But this one does not have it on there. We'll take a closer look at the bottle and make sure they haven't changed their dating machine or anything when I come back for the final chug, but it does not have anything at all written on the bottle on date part of the label here, guys. So, but this is a 9% porter, American porter, and I don't know how big it has to be considered an imperial porter. I would think a 9% would be in the imperial porter range, so we will see. He asked me if I'd had it since then. I said no, I cannot get their beers here. So he sent me another one. So we're going to re-review it for 2016. I'm hoping it's a 2016 version. I do not know since it does not have a date on it anywhere, guys. But like I said, we will take a closer look at it. Matter of fact, when I reviewed it 3 years ago, I was smoking a cigar in here. We don't smoke in the house anymore since we've done all the work and painting and new carpet and everything. We smoke outside now, so I will not be smoking a cigar in here with this beer, but I will probably go out on the deck and fire up a stick while I'm sipping on this beer and sharing half of this beer with the other half. So I'm hoping it's just as tasty as I thought it was 3 years ago. But palates change, and we will see. We will see if I think it's still as impressive as I did then. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, I am unimpressed by him not having a date on the label where it says bottled on date. So that may reflect in my final grade here, guys. They're capable of doing it, and this one does not have it. I don't understand why not. So let's get on with this one. As I told you before when we did it the first time, this is a big beer. It says and it says here on the bottle, Yazoo, an Imperial Smoked Porter. So it is an Imperial. It does not have that listed on Rate Beer Advocate. This says alcohol is 9% by volume, 93 IBUs. So we've got the ABV and the IBUs on the label, but nothing on the date code. It's not critical on this style of beer, but they've got a place on the label to do it, and I know they're capable of doing it because the last one had it. Don't understand why this one did not. It got through somehow, or whether they're not dating them now, I don't have any idea. I don't understand. But anyway, the South is famous for smoking everything. Why not beer? So is a big, rich, smoky malt bomb of a beer with mellow smokiness coming from barley malt smoked with cherry wood and an assertive bitterness from Galena and pearl hops to cleanse the finish. Food pairings for this style of beer, guys. For an Imperial Porter, It says here, cuisine is barbecue, cheese is buttered, brie, good Havarti Swiss. Goes well with your chocolate dishes, of course. Meat is beef, smoked meat, and grilled meat. That's for the pint, macaronic, tumbler, mug, style, Sidel. I'm going to use my favorite tulip glass here, guys. And this one says not recommended for extending cellaring unless ABV extends average range. 9%, I think that exceeds average range. So that's all we need to talk about. So let's get the cap off of this bad boy and see what this version brings. Sickest. This is tasty as what I thought the last one was. So, I'm going to be honest with you now, guys. My palate may have advanced a little bit and will change a little bit, and we will see. We'll stand it up and get a little bit of head on the back end. Alright, very creamy head. Very off white brown, khaki colored head. A little more than a finger of head. Good looking beer. Over into the light. I'm not seeing a whole lot of light at all, even through the thin part of the glass on the bottom. Pretty dark. Pretty dark beer. Looks a lot like a stout in the glass. Big bubbles on the top. Very small, tight bubbles on the side. Very creamy looking. And that's from that aggressive pour on the back end. So let's get a nose on this. Oh yes. Big roasted malt. A little bit of smokiness in there. I am getting some bittersweet chocolate on the nose. It smells just as good as it did the first time I had it. Wow. Very nice aroma on this beer. It smells very sweet on the back end. But like I told you, on the label it's got big IBUs, 93. Doesn't smell like a 93 IBU beer, but for a 9%er, a lot of times they have to put that much bittering hops in it to balance out the beer. Not getting on the nose, I am getting the roasted malt and the chocolate, so let's give it a taste. Cheers everybody. Cheers Jason. Thank you sir. That's very tasty, guys. Very, very tasty. It doesn't have a thick, heavy mouthfeel to it. Maybe a medium to full. Wonderful aroma though. Definitely got a winner here, guys. These guys at Yazoo Brewing got a good thing, and they are continuing on with the legacy of Yazoo. Very nice, very tasty. Nice creaminess to it. Awesome lacing on the left on the glass. A little bit unusual in the porter style to have something this big. The typical porters are not quite as big. The imperial porters, the brewers can call it whatever they want to. They can call it a porter, they can call it a stout. It's up to the brewer for whatever they want to call it, guys. When it gets to this magnitude of a beer, and especially of a dark beer like this, they could just easily call this a stout. Maybe because it's not quite got that heavy, thick, chewy mouthfeel to it. A little bit on the lighter side there. That's why they're calling it a porter. But it is a very dark beer. It's a very tasty beer. Nice smokiness to it. Nice bittersweet chocolate to it. It's right out of the fridge, 40 degrees. We're going to let it warm up so if we can get any dark fruits or anything like that out of it. Just concerned it doesn't have a date on it like the last one did, and it has a place on the label for it. And I know they can do it because the last one that I did 3 years ago had the date on it. So we'll take a closer look at the bottle when I come back. Let me go ahead and pour her a glass and sip on this one for a while and see where it ends up. See if I think it's a 10 beer like I did 3 years ago. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sipping on it about 20 minutes or so. Very tasty beer, guys. I looked at the bottle when I come back and it's got some kind of black ink writing on the bottle right here, right below the neck. And it is so smeared I cannot read it. Why would they go away from putting it on the label when there's a spot on the label especially for that? I don't understand that. I mean, and especially with a beer that dark in this bottle, impossible to see that with the beer in the bottle. Freaking impossible, guys. You cannot see that on the bottle with the beer in the bottle. And with the beer out of the bottle, it's unlegible. I mean, it is a bunch of black ink smeared together that you cannot read. So, very disappointed in that. They got a big white spot that says bottled on right on the label, and they did not put anything there. And now they're printing it on the above the label there, and you still can't read it. And if you could read it, you couldn't see it with the beer being this dark in the bottle. Black writing on a dark brown bottle. How's that work out? Not too good. Come on, guys, Yazoo. I mean, they do, guys, they do that to increase the shelf life. And that's what it does on this style of beer. This is not going to make the beer go bad. It's a 9% Imperial Porter. This beer is going to keep for a long time. But if the date's not written on the label and it's smeared, some kind of smudged black ink with a dark black beer inside, how are you going to read that with a beer in there? You're not. You're not going to be able to see that. I couldn't. So they have a bright white spot on the label to do that, and they choose not to. That's probably going to cost them a great point. It's still a great beer. Still a very tasty beer. And, of course, Jason picked it up and spent his hard-earned money on it and paid to ship it to me. It is not his problem. I do appreciate him doing that so I could re-review it. But, there's always a but. And butts are pretty stinky, guys. They're pretty smelly. When you have a but at the end of the conversation, something's going on here. So they could put that right on the label, and they chose to put a bunch of smeared ass black ink on the bottle, which you cannot see or read, especially if you could read it when the black beer is in the bottle. So, still a very tasty beer. Nice smoky woodiness to it. Went very well with the Padilla cigar 2010 version. The cigar that I was smoking with this outside on the deck. Very tasty beer. Still just as awesome as it is, but very disappointed in what they're doing with the dating on the bottle now. Final chug. That's a very delicious Imperial Porter, guys. It is very, very well made. Alcohol for 9% is very well hidden. Bittersweet chocolate. Maybe some slight hints of some dark fruit, not big. The roasted malt, the woodiness, smokiness, and the chocolate stands out more than anything else. So, still just as tasty as a beer that it was 3 years ago when I had it, but the packaging leaves a little bit to be desired. ABV is on the label, IBU is on the label, and the dating is not. It is some kind of smeared up mess stamped on the bottle which you cannot see or read whether the beer is in it or not in it. So, last time I gave it a 10, this time I'm giving it a 9 because of the way they're dating the beer now. We need to put that, they've got a special place on the label to do that, and they're not doing it there anymore. And now that the beer is out of it, you cannot even read what they're wanting you to see. So, thumbs down on that. Thumbs up on the beer, but thumbs down on the dating process that they're going through. And they do that because they want to extend the shelf life. They don't want you to see that. This beer, like I said, is going to keep for a long, long time, and they know that. So, why put it on the label? We can just put a bunch of smeared up mess on the bottle, and it'll sit on the shelf and still sell. So, not a fan of that, guys. Y'all know me as a date Nazi, especially if you got a spot on the label to put it and you're printing a bunch of jumbled up mess somewhere else on the bottle other than on the label. I got a problem with that. So, Jason, once again, my friend, thank you for purchasing this beer and sending it to me. Yazoo, you need to get your damn head out of your ass. Put the damn date back on the damn label where it's got a spot for it. And where we can read it. So we might want to do a vertical. We might want to do a 2013 and a 2016. I don't know when this beer was done, guys. I can't read what's written on the bottle. I don't know if it's a 2015, 2014, 2013, 2016. I don't know when they do these beers, the beginning of the year, the end of the year, middle of the year. I don't know. So I'm just guessing, guys. I have no idea how old the beer is, which is not going to affect probably the taste of the beer. But if you want to do a vertical, how are you going to do it? If you can't read the date on the bottle, you're just SOL. Shit out of luck, that's what that means. Everybody don't know what SOL means. 9 out of 10. Numeric rating on this one, guys, probably a 98. That's where I'm going to put this because of the dating. I still think it's a great beer. Definitely a good beer to pick up. Check the bottle. Make sure you can read the date on it. I can't read it on this one. So, over to Beer Advocate, they say 92, outstanding. I agree with that. It is an outstanding beer. And over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer says overall 98, 99 in the style. Great numbers from those guys. And I would agree with that. My rating's the same. 98 from me, 98 from Rate Beer. And we'll do the final check over here at Untapped. Untapped says it's 3.85, which is in the upper B's. So a lot of people there have checked in on this beer and don't think it's quite to the A category. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, giving them a 9 instead of a 7. So they need to correct the dating process on that. They are capable of putting it where it's supposed to be on the label, where you can read it, just like the one I did 3 years ago. So, not a fan of that. I guess you figured that out by now. How many times have I mentioned that? 20? So, if you've had this one from Yazoo Brewing out of Nashville, Tennessee, let me know what you think. And the guys at Yazoo, come on, put the date back on the damn label. It's not rocket science, guys. I know why you're doing it. I know why you're doing it. You're extending the shelf life. Because nobody can read that jumbled up message you're putting on the bottle now. Put it back on the label, and you'll get a better grade from me. That's just my opinion now, guys. So, if you've had it, let me know what you think, guys. Re-review of the Yazoo Sioux Imperial Porter. Very tasty beer. Nice information on the label other than the date. We'll back tomorrow. Let's see what we can dig out of the fridge. See you then.